good afternoon or good evening when this video reaches you from Yami B TV. Wishing you all well, of course. Now, before I go on my travels again, more podcasts coming up in the next couple of days by way of interviews and some big ones coming up, right? So get ready for that, pleased to tell you. But I suppose more serious news, breaking news coming in the last few hours or so. And again, from the high security estate, namely the Category A prison HMP Whitemoor, right? A man that I met once as well along my journey, a horrible man, right? I never ever spoke to him. John Mansfield was convicted before 2008, I believe, for horrific murder of an old lady who lived next door nearby to him, right? With about 97 separate stab wounds, horrific mutilation, and he received a life sentence with a minimum term of 30 years to serve, right? So after about a few years into that sentence, he was in the Cat A HMP prison of Full Sutton and got another life sentence for slashing another man with a plate, all right? So that's 2 life sentences. Unlikely that he was going to get out. Now, the breaking news coming in is that he himself now has been killed. Now, we've got to be careful what we say here. But the news coming into me is that his body was found yesterday with wounds that represent that he had been assaulted and killed, right? But a man has been arrested on suspicion of murder, but not being charged. Now, interesting that they should bring up the religious side of things. Doesn't say much more than that Whitemoor has 45% of its inmates that go to Muslim service, right? Mentioning this because of probably what's happened at HMP Franklin Category A the other day with those prison officers. But they're not saying that it's a Muslim man or descendant of that kind that have done this, but yet they still mentioned it. But yeah, John Mansfield lived by the sword and probably died by the sword. So that's the breaking news. But they're very, very serious places these days. And if I'm not right, I'm sure that's the 3rd or 4th murder in Whitemoor in the last 2 or so years, right? So nowhere safe anymore. Not just the Category A's, and not just because of religion. Not just because of religion. People get maimed everywhere. But, you know, the ones that seem to be highlighted the most are coming out of those Category A's. I'll be up maybe later on this evening, see how I feel, see how long it takes me to get to my next destination.